We're down in D.C. I spent a day and a half down there this week. I fundamentally think a bill is going to get done in the next few weeks. The Democratic senators in earnest want to get something done. The Republican senators in earnest want to get something done. These are complicated bills. I mean, it would be complicated if me and you sat down and tried to write the bill. But when everyone is pushing for their own agenda,
right? Well, let me ask you about the bill, because I think there's maybe many more sticking points than that. But the two that people focus on right now is just what authorities the CFTC has versus the SEC, and perhaps maybe the bigger one. And you hear people like Brian Moynihan get asked about it, and others, just about stable coins and what, how they will work and whether, depending on what they're allowed to be able to do, whether ultimately you're going to have a lot of money coming out of the banking system and what that means to credit in the country.
Yeah, listen, this is an issue that the banks have brought up, and they have an amazing lobbying army, right? So they have come down, and one of the reasons the bill is stalled is the banks are saying, oh my goodness. If you go to JP Morgan right now, or Bank of America, or any of the big banks, and you put money in a savings account, you get about 11 basis points or 1 basis point. So the banks are making a tremendous amount of money holding our savings and depositing at the Fed at 3.5%, 4%. They worry that stable coins could have deposit flight. The reality is,
well, but just to be clear, they worry if stable coins are allowed to effectively accrue interest or some other kind of points or other things, that there would be deposit flight. That is right now. That's the central issue, because they're not allowed to technically yet.
Yes. Or the banks would have to raise their interest, pay the consumer maybe a fair rate, and make less money.
AI is being integrated into more parts of the U.S. healthcare system. In Utah, for instance, AI technology is now able to renew prescriptions without a human being ever being in the loop.
Yeah, so the program in Utah is a little bit different, right? That is an AI system without a human in the loop. And we have a formulary that we've come up with the state of Utah. Consists of about 200 drugs, most of them low risk.
Welcome to the Cryptoteacher. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And I come back with that video just to make you think. And make sure you join the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. Also, go like and follow the TikTok. More videos to come. And we have Mike Novogratz on the Clarity Act, and I definitely expect it to be done this year. But we know why they don't want to give us interest on these stable coins. The machines are about to take the jobs, and they're going to be giving people free money. Universal basic income. We've seen it tested all around the globe. So they're definitely not going to give you interest on money that they gave you. But again, there's going to be plenty of ways for those who have money to earn yield and understand the digital economy. And Mike Novogratz speaks about deposit flight. If interest was paid on these stable coins, that's going to happen anyway, because we know the dollar is about to be devalued. And we can see that in the gold and silver pricing. And as the Fed cut interest rates, the dollar gets devalued. We know money is going to run and find yield. The same way we see in the emerging markets, how they run from fiat and go to these stable coins is going to be the same here. And remember, this is a plan that moves in phases. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And during the C word, healthcare took over the American economy. Now we have AI. These robots are about to replace these nurses and physicians. And all you have to do is look at Japan and look at China on how they're using this technology to take care of the elderly. And if we have 40% of employees out of work, nobody's paying into the system. And we know they cause the problem, wait for the reaction, and run in with the solution. That's the machines and this universal basic income. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. And it's going to be so important for you to be eating your fruits and vegetables, understanding your health, taking care of yourself, going to exercise. Because the fact is, once you go in that hospital, it might be a Black Mirror episode. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. And the dollar has been used as a stick to whip these other countries. Now that dollar is gone. Now the emerging markets are ready to take that stick and whip the Western nations. The emerging markets were beat down by sanctions and tariffs. Now they're off the dollar. And again, we can look at silver and gold and see that. Unfortunately, the sheep are asleep. But all this technology is ready, and we've seen it tested in emerging markets for over 10 years. Now it's about to take over the globe, put a lot of people in the United States out of work, and then also globally. But in the United States, we know we are spoiled, and they're going to beg government for the solution they already had ready. UBI, robots, algorithms, and drones, paying each other with crypto, and the sheep don't know it now, but they're heading inside the metaverse where their life becomes a real-life video game. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you, because he knows, when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Well, I mean, I think we learned in 2025 that Washington has a heavy hand in any area that it's delving in these days. So, of course, we have the trade tariffs that came in place and had a pretty meaningful effect on market action last year. I think there's a long tail to that. I think we're seeing that with all of what China's doing to reestablish trade ties or improve trade ties. I don't know if necessarily we can say that it's a new world order yet, but there's certainly shifting sands. And we have to keep in mind what that can mean for underlying company cash flows. We've seen companies be pretty resilient, of course, in this regard.
Mine is the first visit of a Canadian Prime Minister to China in nearly a decade. The world has changed much since that last visit. And I believe the progress that we have made in the partnership sets us up well for the new world order. Sets us up well for the new world order.
What is an economy? People get confused. Sometimes they think an economy is money. Money is a database for exchange of goods and services, and for time shifting the exchange of goods and services. Money is a database. Money doesn't have power in and of itself. Like you can run the thought experiment of if you're trapped on a remote island, a shipwrecked on an island, and you've got $1 trillion in a Swiss bank account. It's worthless.
We're going to have tremendous workforce availability. We're also going to have robots helping us. We're going to have a lot of robots helping us because we need it. And because we're going to town, we're building a lot between the AI and the auto plants. So we're going to need robots. We're going to have robots, but that's going to help us.
Robots hold steady hands in the operating room, and drones are redefining the future of war. Innovations of first-generation humanoids, factory automation, and autonomous vehicles have surged from private sector investment. Every one of these advancements is powered by AI. The robots are here. Our future is no longer science fiction.
Maybe crypto is actually built for the machines and we didn't even know it. And AI can easily handle private keys and easily understands transaction hashes and like how all this stuff works. It is money that is built for computers, even before the computers to intelligently handle it were built. So I find that interesting. And, perhaps those of us who were involved in crypto pre-AI were kind of just like getting the ground ready for the AI systems to have a fully developed financial system handed to them for better or worse.
This could be perhaps the greatest revolution in financial technology since the birth of the internet itself. Many Americans are unaware that behind the scenes, the technical backbone of the financial system is decades out of date, many, many years out of date. You know that. Paul and others are straightening it out, but payments and money transfers are costly and take days or even weeks to clear. Under this bill, the entire ancient system will be eligible for a 21st century upgrade using the state-of-the-art crypto technology.
And as President Trump has directed, we are going to keep the U.S. the dominant reserve currency in the world, and we will use stable coins to do that.
I think stable coins could reinforce dollar supremacy, because with stable coins could end up being one of the largest buyers of U.S. treasuries or T-bills. Mm-hmm. So all of a sudden, if you are using a stable coin in Nigeria that's backed by the U.S. dollar, you don't actually have to have dollars. It's on your phone. You can transact.
We are going big on digital assets. So Trump administration has made digital assets a priority. I've seen estimates that just over the short term, stable coins could create $2 trillion of demand for U.S. treasuries and treasury bills. To put that in context, the number is probably about $300 billion right now.
We will take a close look at regulatory impediments to blockchain, stable coins, and new payment systems.
The Department of Commerce is going to start issuing its statistics on the blockchain, because you are the crypto president, and we are going to put out GDP on the blockchain so people can use the blockchain for data distribution, and then we're going to make that available to the entire government so all of you can do it. We're just ironing out all the details so we can do it.
Together, these world-leading technology giants are announcing the formation of Stargate. So put that name down in your books, because I think you can reduce the cost of virtually all goods and services. It'll make the United States a manufacturing superpower and the world capital of artificial intelligence and crypto. But with today's announcement, we take a major step to bring healthcare into the digital age. Instead of filling out the same tedious paperwork at every medical appointment, patients will simply be able to grant their doctors access to their records at the push of a button. Just a button and you're all set, and all the information the doctor needs will be immediately transmitted.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go, but clearly we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
If we could tokenize all our ETFs, all $5.3 trillion of our ETFs, and provide that in a digital wallet, you could seamlessly, without fees, going from a digital currency or a stable coin or whatever that may be in your digital wallet and buy bond or stocks. And I believe that is going to be the future.
I believe we're going to be in the cutting edge of tokenizing bonds and stocks.
It's coming.
And we have the technology now. The fact that we are now moving forward in tokenization, every bond and stock, is crazy. Yep. We should be moving towards that frontier. Obviously, there's winners and losers and all that, but we need to be prepared for the tokenization. And it would democratize more finance if we tokenized bonds and stocks.
Crypto Teacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.